Hello, my Olive friends. I haven't seen you guys in 2 days, and I already miss you guys. I wanted to share with you about a holiday that's coming up, Passover, as many of you know. And I wanted to talk to you about the story. I'm going to actually share the story with you, and then we're going to watch a fun video about the story. It's kind of like a short movie. And yeah, I really want to get you guys excited for Passover because it's my favorite holiday. So here it goes. Over 3,000 years ago, God saved the Jewish people and took them out of slavery in Egypt, leading them to split the sea and into the land of Israel. Each year, we celebrate the redemption from Egypt by reading the story of Passover during the Passover Seder. Here's how it all began. Okay, I've got my scroll here ready. Be ready, Olive class? Okay. For a long time, Pharaoh's advisors had been warning him as the growing threat of the Jewish nation. His sorcerers had seen in the stars that a Jewish boy who was born would grow up and get the Jewish people out of Egypt. All Jews must work from sunrise to sunset without pay, said Pharaoh. Children must work as hard as adults, and no parents will be allowed to spend time with their children. Egyptians may use Jewish slaves to do whatever they need. And worst of all Jewish baby boys are to be thrown into the Nile River. A Jewish woman called Yocheved had a baby boy. Desperately trying to save his life, she hid him until he was 3 months old. And then she placed him in a basket that would be floating down the Nile River. His sister Miriam watched over to him, hiding in the banks of the river to make sure no one could see her. The floating basket was picked up by the princess of Egypt. Her name was Batia, and she was Pharaoh's daughter. Discovering the beautiful infant inside, Moses was taken by Batia to Pharaoh into the palace. There, he grew up and lived a very, very fancy life. Despite the fact that he grew up in the palace, though, Moses could not bear the suffering of the Jewish people. It made him so upset. One day when Moses was walking, he walked by a burning bush, and he started to freak out, and he was like, "What is that?" So he came closer, and all of a sudden he heard a loud voice, and it was God speaking to him, and God said to him, "Go down to Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let my people go." So Moses did as God asked, and he went with his brother Aaron to Pharaoh and said, "You need to let the Jewish people go." He said, "Let my people go." But Pharaoh just laughed in their face and said that he was not going to let the Jewish people go. Moses and Aaron told Pharaoh that if he didn't do this, there would be plagues that hit the Egyptian people, but Pharaoh just laughed in their face and slowly began to realize that all the plagues were coming upon them. There were blood, there were frogs, there were lice, there were wild animals, sick animals, boils, locusts, darkness, and the worst plague of all, death of the firstborn. Finally, Pharaoh had enough. He ran frantically through the streets of Egypt and said, "Go! Go! The time has come! You and your Jewish people can go! Grab your bags and leave at once! Don't wait for your bread to rise, just go!" So the Jews left Egypt with all their snacks in their bags and the faith in their hearts. The Jews walked until they reached the sea, and then they stopped. They were trapped. They could see the Egyptians coming after them, swords ready. Pharaoh had changed his mind. He wanted them to come back, and he was chasing them. God told Moses to stretch his arms over the water, and all at once, the sea split. Miraculously, the Jews were able to walk through on dry land, but as soon as the Egyptians stepped foot in the sea, the walls of water came crashing down, and the Jewish people were free. So, Olive class, now that we've gone over the crazy story of Passover, we're going to watch another video to really show you guys what it was like. And then next week, we're going to go over all the practices that we do and what we do on the actual holiday of Passover to celebrate and remember what the Jewish people went through. I hope you guys have the best time watching this video, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Mwah! Ms Michal misses you.